So I thought today we'd go into what we have for supplies. These are spark plugs. The RCJ6Y is a common one. Also your RJ19LMs for a lot of your engines. The RC12YC is probably the most common one that we use. These are the fuel filters that we use a lot. The ones on the right are the Chinese, the ones on the left are rotary. But they're a general all-purpose one. These are the RC8s. We'll go around and take a look at oil filters now. Now these here are the aftermarket Kohlers. There's one tall one and one short one. The only difference is how tight the cowl is on the lawnmower. If it's tight and you don't have a lot of room, you got to go with the shorter one, right? These are the Briggs. That's the rotary number for the Briggs, and I don't see one there for rotary, but we buy those by the case. These are the Honda Kawasaki's. They'll go on John Deere's. These are the Yamaha four-wheelers, side-by-sides. A lot of these filters are for customers that have side-by-sides or four-wheelers, and they bring theirs every year to get serviced. Some like the OEM Yamahas, others are willing to take the aftermarkets. Again, you don't need a ton of them in there. The idea is to keep it down as cheaply as possible so you're not putting a lot of money into inventory. These are the OEMs. The only difference between these and the ones down below are ones they're coming from Kohler and the other ones are coming from Oregon. A lot of these transmission filters I wouldn't stock. We do because we've seen them. As you can see, there's quite a few air filters there. Well, a lot of them got dirt on them from not being used. Probably the two biggest ones are this one with a pre-filter. It's for a Kohler. And then the other style down below that came with a pre-filter. Sold separately. Hopefully you're not getting dizzy. That's for the old push mower. There's still a lot of those around. As well as these, we've sold a lot of those. Again, these are for four-wheeler air filters. One of the other things I like to add is if you can afford to pick up some switches, different ones, but a lot of those you order them as you need them. If you're fixing starters, a lot of times the plastic gear will go and that's it. You can buy these by the shop packs. This is the vacuum operated fuel pump. It works on all of them, not just Briggs. If it's got a vacuum system, then that will work. Same thing with this oil filter or oil plug. It's the oil drain valve. That'll thread right into any engine out there that I know of. Maybe Jason, you can correct me, but so far it's worked on everything we had. These are all just carburetors. I don't recommend that you stock very many. You get them as you need them. For those people that don't want to buy a whole thing of rope, here's one with a handle and all. And then we got a lot of head gaskets, a lot of stuff for the Massimo's, and then the chainsaw stuff. But this is our rope selection. But we sell a lot of rope online. But our biggest seller is the 4.5. And the 4.5 will kind of cover all spectrums. That. And then these are the spur sprockets for chainsaws with bars and chains. It's all chainsaw accessories. That's Massimo's next door. If you have Massimo's around, these are the plugs you're going to need. Again, I wouldn't go crazy with a lot of stuff. These are the other style fuel filters that I see. I don't recommend them on riders and stuff, but they're just a simple. And of course, you have bunches of other different types of fuel filters, and then those are gas caps and so forth. This is our belt selection and home link. Again, I wouldn't stock a lot of it. Hopefully that's kind of helped you out a little bit on what we have in stock. Again, keep it simple. Keep it just your basics. You got 3 main spark plugs, maybe 4. You got basically 3 different style oil filters. You have the 2 coilers that all there is in difference is the length of them. And if you got room in there, it's actually like a 2-stage versus a 1-stage. So I mean it cleans it better with the bigger one. But most of the coilers that are coming through are taking the low profile. The difference between the OEM and the aftermarket is the name on them. I'm getting OEMs from Kohler for my customers that want all OEM. They will not have an aftermarket on their machine, even though they're almost half of what a Kohler is. You've got the Briggs, the OEM and aftermarket. All of them carry it. I gave you the Oregon number. I can put numbers in the description later on of the actual part numbers too. And then lastly is the one that is the John Deere, Kawasaki, covers all of those. If you're doing side-by-sides and 4-wheelers and you're doing them every year, ordering them ahead so you have them on hand so you can get that equipment in and out is great if you can afford it. If not, order it as you need it. As the machine comes in, take the time to put in the order. Like Jason says, you don't need to have it out the same day. Actually, holding it over a couple of days and doing a couple cold starts on it to make sure that everything is going to run the way it should is important. If it's going to have any issues, I like it to have issues with us, not with our customers. Because the worst thing is if you have to bring a machine back, right? Customer gets a bad taste in their mouth, and whatever has gone wrong from that point on is basically our fault, right? I know it's not, but it's kind of like, well, you did this last and now it's doing this. Well, no, it's doing that because it's something else. In the comments, let me know what are the things that you're looking most for. Is it the exact part numbers? Is it the part number for the case of them? Let me know, and I'll post accordingly. So that brings us back to Easter. Today is Easter Sunday, and hopefully a lot of you guys are going to have big meals and get-togethers with the kids. I've been seeing on my Facebook of people out Easter egg hunting and so forth. I think it's great. It's for the kids. I know the adults get a holiday off too, and usually a great meal put on, right? For me, it's going to be fairly quiet. Yesterday I went to the first farm auction that we've had in our area so far this spring, and the auctioneer, him and his wife, I know him very well, and I had been trying to avoid people because of my limitations of being able to carry on a normal conversation. And I keep telling God, if this is the best I'm going to be, I'm okay with it. But it still doesn't take away the fear of being around other people, because people still see the old me, and if it's anything short of that, I don't know. I mean, it's probably just me in my head, because with trying to limit being around other people so that I don't look like a deer in the headlights, or, losing my train of thought, or trying to have complete sentences at times are hard. And making sense of sometimes of what I'm trying to say, like now. But I got to catch up with a lot of old friends that I hadn't seen, well before my surgery, when I went in for my surgery. But they had all been following me on my Facebook. A lot of people follow what I have and that I write daily on Facebook, but they don't comment. That's just not their style. But they follow along, and I started posting every day how I was doing. And if I miss a day, then I get these people sending me private messages saying what's going on, because they're following what I'm posting daily to see how I'm doing. But yesterday I got a chance to visit with quite a few of them, and they didn't seem to care, that I would lose my train of thought or what. And they just kind of keep the conversation going until I could get my bearings again. And I did tell, one of my friends, he asked me how I was doing. And I said, well, I've just told, I just keep telling myself that if this is the best I'm going to be, then I'm okay. And he said, you're more than okay. You're better than just being okay. He said, you're here, and we'll take what we can get. But I did good yesterday. I didn't buy anything. Actually, what I did was I ended up selling a set of plows to a friend of mine that told him, I said, you don't need to buy them. Just take them and use them like last year. And he said, no. I said, you know how I am. Afraid I'm going to break something. So when they had an old chintzy set, 3 bottoms, sell for $600, he come over to visit with me for a minute because he said they were too light duty. I told him, you know what? If you can give me $600 for the 3 bottoms I've got, I'll sell them to you. Because he's the only one that uses them. Might as well get some money out of him, right? And I was thinking maybe I owe my friendly auctioneers that are close friends a commission on the sale. But that's what life's all about, is you can't hide. People will take you for whatever you are. And 99% of the people are supportive and understand and will help you. And it's just that 1%er that, makes fun or mocks or what have you. Don't let the 1%ers control your life. Let the 99% of the people that you hang around with get whatever you have to offer. And that's enough, and that's okay. So on that note, you guys have a great Easter Sunday, and then back to the grind. Next week, right, Monday, we've been doing really well. We knocked out 4 machines on Friday, just doing services on them. And I had to order some parts for one, the throttle, because they snapped the handle off, so I got that coming. And that should be in Wednesday. We had one guy pick up his tractor. We just put a brand new clutch in. And the sad thing is the guy hired us to put in a new clutch and pressure plate because it was slipping. And it ended up being 2 O-rings in the base for the hydraulics. And it was saturating the clutch. So you can't get it cleaned up. No matter what you do, that hydraulic oil on it is terrible. And So we ended up buying a new clutch and pressure plate with throwout bearing and so forth, and it was almost $600. And by the time we tallied up our labor, O-rings, hydraulic fluid, you name it, it came up to almost $1,200. They sold one at the auction yesterday, an 8N, similar to the one we just fixed. And that sold for $15 for the whole tractor. Give you an idea of what stuff's going for. So on that note, you guys have a great Easter, and we'll catch you here bright and early tomorrow morning for the weekday.